5 minutes.
Oh, I have 5 minutes. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm not going to need 5 minutes. I think that would really annoy Councillor Robbins if I stood here and spoke for 5 minutes. So I will not do that. It gives me great pleasure, Madam Mayor, to propose this notice of motion. Climate change is a threat to poverty. It can lead to more extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and other environmental changes that can displace people and destroy livelihoods. We have already seen environmental refugees alongside political refugees impacted by these changes. Climate action can help reduce poverty, as it can create jobs in the clean energy sector, improve agricultural productivity, and make communities more resilient to climate shocks. There are trade-offs, though, between climate action and poverty reduction, as some climate policies can have negative impacts on the poor. However, these trade-offs can be managed through careful planning and implementation, such as, for example, this council demanding a private cable from the Rampion 2 wind farm to power homes in the city and reduce costs to our residents. But we did not do that. And that remains a missed opportunity for the most vulnerable in the city, struggling with high energy costs. In this NOM, Madam Mayor, we seek agreement from colleagues, like Councillor Fishley said, on something very, very simple. Two things: that costs to residents should always be addressed by officers in reports to both communities and both committees and full council when proposing net zero policies or actions. I think for transparency and fairness, that seems like the right thing to do. And second, that officers do not bring forward reports on net zero policies which have a negative financial cost implications for the residents, i.e. two policies that would mean we have transparency on the costs to residents, but also reduce the number of unintended costs affecting residents on the back of some of our policies. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Bagaeen. Right, I now have Cllr Meadows to second the motion. Cllr Meadows.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Madam Mayor. It was good of our Prime Minister to push back the timeline for us supposedly achieving net zero. After all, we have surpassed the targets most countries have set for 2030. I'm going to be talking to point 4 mainly on this notice motion, because my own opinion is that net zero will never be achieved due to the high costs to each individual in our city. Ground source or air source heat pumps, which are being pushed as an alternative to gas central heating. However, for a 2 or 3 bedroom property, no one has told the residents the cost of installing these can be up to £45,000 per property. And no one has admitted that they take up to 24 hours before they heat your home. Poorer residents might consider purchasing an electric car despite the high cost of purchase. Do you know getting the minerals, etc., for your car's battery can be problematic? Take lithium in your rechargeable batteries, for example. That includes your computers, laptops, phones, and the electric car. More than half the world's lithium comes from just 3 countries: Bolivia, Chile, and Argentina. The process for extracting this lithium leaches massive amounts of groundwater from the surrounding area, resulting in a decreased water supply and less accessible water for agriculture in the area. In the salt plains of the Attica Desert, high in the Andes Mountains, workers drill through the salt crust to get to those minerals. Farmers in the area affected have their livelihoods destroyed due to loss of water for their farms. And do you know it's children who mine this product in Bolivia? To produce an electric car, it takes 17 tons of CO2, 17 metric tons. And to produce a petrol car takes 6 metric tons of CO2. But that's okay. Everyone who's looking to do the climate change thing thinks that's okay. You all consider electric cars are good. All of the batteries are made in China, which probably makes these batteries have the largest carbon footprint. Cobalt is an essential component used for rechargeable batteries, computers, mobile phones, and electric cars. It comes from the Congo. The people mining this work in slave-like conditions, if you like, it's called modern-day slavery. No health and safety, and it's the poorer people who work on it for a few dollars a day. Just to give you your phones, laptops, and electric cars. No computer, laptop, mobile phone, electric car can run without it. I agree that I see many in this chamber think that's funny, and many disagree with me. But it will, no matter, just go in for net zero, no matter what the cost to poorer communities in this country as well as abroad is wrong. And we have surpassed targets, so instead of worrying about reaching net zero, why not give a thought to those whose lives are being ruined by this quest for green alternatives?